What can 360 Steel do for you? We make custom steel products made right here in Illinois. Fire pits of all kinds, knockdown styles to take along anywhere. Hold your drinks high with our drink stands while pouring horseshoes or bags. We have a complete line of military to firefighter signs, flags, hats, stickers, and more, along with many styles of decor. Welcome signs and custom clocks to a number of different monograms and signs. Personalized, custom options for your perfect sign. Bare steel or powder coated to last indoors and outdoors. 360steel.com. Spell it out. 360steel.com. Check out Twisted Shifters for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We're made in America and we ship worldwide.
And live with a Nitro Chaos in particular edition here with Chaos Live. Looking forward to a good show tonight as David, Chaos is done for 2024. You're muted, David.
How about this? Let's try it again.
There we go.
This wild and woolly season of chaos has come to a conclusion. We have to add another W word in there. It was occasionally wet, as we had a little more of that liquid sunshine than we would like to have had. But we definitely did get some great racing done in both the Funny Car Chaos side and finishing up this past weekend with an exceptional race, returning to one of our early stomping grounds up at Havana, Illinois at Midstate Dragway. So we've had a great season. We completed race number 11 of the Nitro Chaos season. The 3-4 seasons that we've had now, it's kind of hard to imagine that it all started with one race for Nitro Chaos 4 years ago at Eddyville Raceway Park. But here we are. We have now crowned our second champion with the second championship tour, and it certainly came down to a great championship finals. And of course, you've probably already seen that next year we'll have the championship finals once again back at Havana. So great news for the folks in the land of Lincoln.
They are certainly excited for that, and I know the track management were anticipating the event that we wrapped up with, very much so. They kind of described it like a little kid not being able to go to bed because Santa's coming that night. And I definitely think that Chaos came bearing gifts, and it was a good show. So much of what this Nitro Chaos in particular, I feel like, really showcased what Nitro Chaos is all about. I think of that semifinal matchup with a Camaro Nitro Pro Mod and a 34 Coupe on Nitro, and you look at that and you're like, okay, this shouldn't be happening, but it can happen, and it is happening in the world of Chaos. You have in round one, Gary Wheeler, the 2023 champion, is able to get a win light that he had been looking for a while in 2024 over the 2024 champion in Joey Haas. And Joey is in practically a big show funny car, and Gary is in a nostalgia front engine dragster, and you have that pair up, and 390s a pair. Just Nitro Chaos with all of its chaos, yet that being good racing on display at Midstate Dragway, and they were certainly glad to have that type of show in-house. And also, Midstate Dragway, keep up the good work. David, I had not been there in about 2 years. It had been 2 years since I had been there, still under Central Illinois Dragway. And look, nice venue, but kind of like a little dust bowl. But they have really worked their tails off. There's new amenities. There's new asphalt. There's fresh paint. It's got a fresh look. It's got a fresh feel. The new grandstands, they cut weeds back so you can see better, and they've made safety improvements. Midstate Dragway is marching forward to being a premier 8th mile facility in its neck of the woods.
It looked like it from where I was sitting. The last time I was there was 2019, and we had the Funny Car Chaos event there. And a great venue, that is the original Chaos in the Cornfield, because that was, we wound up getting there. And as you probably were able to see again this year, completely surrounded on all sides, by corn, and it was way up high. So I don't know if they've already completed the harvest up there or not, but very definitely a lot of cornfields around there. But a great track, has been there for a long time, and the investment of the sweat equity, the money that has been put into there, obviously has yielded some great results. I was looking at the qualifying list, and of course the low qualifier at 355. That doesn't happen everywhere, so you certainly can't point to that racetrack and say, well, there was something just wouldn't hold anything. Well, it held a 355 and 209 miles an hour. So, and that was not the only big number that was run. So in terms of track preparations, the improvements that they have made, they have certainly worked hard to earn an event like the Nitro Chaos Championship Finals. And what a treat, what a thrill to be able to bring it back in 2025. The matchups that you alluded to, the different kind of cars that are available for the fan to come and see and experience at a Nitro Chaos event. The Nitro Pro Mods, the street legal machine of Brian Coleman getting a win light in the first round. You've got everything from the practically big show funny cars, the Nitro Clown and the Nimrod. You've got all the Altereds, the Slingshot Dragsters. And then you've got the little guys out of Oklahoma, the Nitro Monkey. And, of course, last weekend, probably the happiest person in and around Norman, Oklahoma, was that Tennessee fan, Mrs. Monkey. And so give her a little shout out there for what her team was able to do in Norman. And but what happened at Havana was well documented by our media staff, including you, Lee. And, those big header flames out there, that venue, I mean, it's so far from anywhere that it's just unspoiled in terms of a Nitro experience, a drag racing experience. And, hopefully be able to go to that one next year. And, man, won't it be great to experience that all over again in 2025?
It certainly will. And in our own way, we're going to re-experience the 2024 event that we just concluded with having the CP Carillo B Field winner on, and also the McKinney Motorsports A Field winner, that being John Umlauf, and the B Field winner being Wade Pennington. And, before we get Wade on, I cannot help but look at what Wade was able to do this year and echo the sentiments that I would hear from fans and from fellow racers of like, who is that guy? Where did that car come from? And dang, he did a good job.
Yes. And, showed up a little bit like that. He and Chuck Lofton have a little bit of a similar, should I know this person? And if you've been around drag racing, particularly top dragster racing, for the last 20 years, you probably have heard of this guy and maybe seen him run. But in terms of stepping into the AA fuel altered, I can hardly wait to get the story and bring it to our Nitro Chaos family out there on Chaos Live. So we're going to be talking with Wade Pennington, your CP Carillo B Field winner, after we come back from the break. But before we go to the break, I just want to say a big word of thanks to Twisted Shifters and 360 Steel. Their support of Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos this 2024 season. Title sponsor for this championship finals. Also thanks to Morrow Brothers Ford. Man, they have raised the bar once again, in terms of trophies, in terms of event participation, in terms of presence, places that they didn't actually have to be, they made it a point to jump in the vehicle and show up. And not only just to show up, but to show up in force and to make a positive impact for all the racers. So we have a great group of sponsors and friends that have made Nitro Chaos what has quickly become one of the best grassroots racing series in the country. And it's in no small part thanks to great people like Darren Foster, Dean Dubbin, Murph McKinney, and the list goes on. And we have so many people to thank. And we appreciate Larice Motorsports and Driven Racing Oils. And, the beat goes on, Dove Racing Fuels. But what we witnessed, what we experienced there at Havana continues to set a standard for grassroots drag racing, nitro burning grassroots drag racing. And we'll talk more about it with the winner from the CP Carillo B Field right after we take this break. So we'll be right back.
Driven Racing Oil's GP1 Nitro 70. Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts across the world. Driven takes legendary base oils, such as the ones from Brantford, Pennsylvania, which comprise our GP1 line. Then, we boost that superior base oil with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by methanol or nitro-based fuel. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
We are back on Chaos Live with our first guest. And let me tell you, this guy showed up at the Nitro Chaos race at the Texas Motorplex in April. And the Scrap Bucket car, and that name, you can see Scrap Bucket on the screen there, and really made a statement early. Wade Pennington, I cannot tell you how excited we are to have you on this show tonight. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
So you have come onto the scene in the world of Nitro Chaos racing, and you've been to 2 final rounds. You bookended the season. That's got to feel pretty good. How did you decide to become a Nitro racer in 2024?
2 or 3 years ago, I bought a nostalgia top fuel front motored car, and just a roller, brand new car. And this car came up for sale, and I thought, man, that would be a good combination just to put in that front motored car and go race. And talked to Tom Conway about it. He had put it all together and been with that car all the time. And he said, yeah, that would make you a good one, So we get on a deal and we buy that car. Bring it home, I'm thinking it's pretty crazy to take a car apart that's ready to go to the races to build another car. So we decided to go to Dallas with it. We'd never started a Nitro car until we showed up at the Motorplex. Had Tom there with us to hold our hand and tell us what not to do, I guess. And it just turned into our weekend, and was a great weekend, and turned into a great year for us.
Well, I'll surely say that it did, and what a coach to have with Tom Conway in your corner. That's a pretty good way to get started going nitro racing. Is there's a ton of experience there. So now you've been racing a long time, and some people know you, particularly around Oklahoma. You've raced at Tulsa and Ardmore and Thunder Valley and Red River, lots of other places. I'm sure you've raced all across the country, but kind of bring the Chaos family up to date on how long you've been doing this and what got you started.
Well, I first went to the races in '75 with a '64 Nova at Ardmore. I made more passes down Ardmore's track than anything we've ever been to. I mean, that's the home track. From there, we wanted something bigger and better all the time. And Tom started building me motors in the early '80s for rear motor dragsters and stuff, and tried to run the 790 class a little bit back. I don't know, that was in the mid 80s. And then we've been out of racing 2 or 3 times, and every time you get an extra $1, well, it's time to buy something else and go racing again. Never thought I'd ever drive a Nitro car of any kind, or a blown car for that matter. And then probably in 2011 or 12, Tommy Keeter with KPE was building blown alcohol motors for top dragsters, and we started doing that, and had a little bit of success with that. We run a lot of 6.0s with that deal, and we had ran as fast with the dragsters we had with this altered, but this altered is a whole different animal. It's when you crawl in it, things happen a lot faster, and all the noise in front of you. It's the funnest car I've ever drove. And this CHAOS deal, it gives everybody a place to race, and it was a great experience for us this year.
Well, that's good to hear. I saw a post that you made about MoCan, and you had put something on there about the opening ceremonies there, and you described it as probably the coolest race you'd ever been to. So, I mean, it obviously struck you like it struck a lot of us as a very special venue. I don't know if you'd been there before, but that particular version of a race at MoCan, it struck you very positively. Tell us about it.
Well, we've been to tons of top dragster races, super comp races, and there's nobody in the stands. I mean, it's just the racers and their family and crew members and stuff like that. And I was just watching people coming in at MoCan. Man, they packed the place. And then the national anthem, the way they played it, I mean, it was just.
Yes, it is. And Tara, Chris's wife Tara, had come up with that concept for an opening ceremony, and man, it was definitely a home run. So here in your first season, and I hope it's I hope we get to see you in 2025. What a way to start! You come in 2 final rounds, you win both of them, and you finish number 5 in the points. And this race car, you said it's a whole lot more fun to drive. You're no stranger to speed on the drag strip, but sitting behind a blown nitro motor in a short wheelbase was a little different animal, huh? Yeah,
I mean, 380s in a dragster is nothing like 380s in that thing. It's just, it happens so much faster. You're steering more. And it's all the nitro noise in front of you. And it kind of gave me the bug for this deal. And so we've actually acquired a funny car. We're going to try to make a couple of funny car CHAOS races next year. And then we're going to keep this car also, I think. It's pretty hard to change cars as good as this car's been to us.
Man, I hear you. If you got a car that, see, you've been to the final twice and won both of them in your original season in Nitro CHAOS, that car has been very good to you. Well, I'm happy to hear that you've got a funny car and maybe trying that side of the fence as well. Now, you've got family. You've got family that's raced junior dragsters, probably a lot of other stuff too. I don't know, but this racing deal, it's a family thing for you, right?
Yeah, it really is. When we started doing the Midwest deal with Top Dragster, I had my Top Dragster, and I had my daughter in a Top Dragster, and then 2 granddaughters in junior dragsters. And that's why we really liked that series. We could all go race at the same time and just have a really good time with the whole family involved.
Well, that's great. You're gonna have a couple. You can have a funny car and a fuel altered, and there's no telling what all you might be able to put together for that race at Ennis in April of 2025. But man, it's a lot of. So many people talk about the family aspect of what we've got going here. How about, you talked about going to races and there being nobody in the stands, just racers going down the racetrack. And there's a lot of people at a racetrack that just all happen to be with the racers. The fan interaction of you, with you and your crew at these Nitro CHAOS events, was that different? Was that better? Was it something that you enjoyed?
Oh, we really enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of fans come over and looking at your car and bringing the kids over, and kids looking at it, and just seeing a bunch of people in the stands, and they're really loving what we're doing, and that's pretty special.
Man, I'm glad you are getting a chance to experience it. Now, was this something you had thought about for a long time? Or, I mean, you had obviously bought the car and bought the Nitro, the Slingshot. So you had obviously been thinking about it. Has this year been special for any other reasons?
Just being able to, I've always wanted to race heads up and never had the money to do an alcohol car or anything like that. And that's a big deal, you know, is to pull up there and go actually have a drag race with somebody without a spot or an index or whatever, you know. That's the fun part about this to me. And plus, you know, everything about this CHAOS deal has really been good for us.
Well, we're so excited to have you be a part of it, and we look forward to your second season in CHAOS. So your business, you know, the name of the car, Scrap Bucket, that's kind of a reference back to your business that makes all this go around for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I've owned the salvage yard since the 70s. 77, my dad and I started the salvage yard. And then in 04, we had an opportunity to buy a scrap yard. And then in 05, we ended up buying another scrap yard. And so the scrap is what lets us do this stuff. So that's where the name come from.
Okay. Well, that kind of harkens back to a guy running a top fuel team right now, the Scrappers organization. There's certainly some wisdom to being involved in a business that allows you to do what you like to do for fun, and to do it at a high level. So congratulations to you on your success.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming on, Wade, and I've asked you a few questions. Is there anything else that you wanted to add for the folks out there?
I'd just like to thank Chris for having this series, and then all the sponsors. We got DMP and McKinney, CP Carillo, the Twisted Shifters, 360 Steel, Dove, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some of them, but Dove has supplied me my fuel, you know, bring it to the track for me, makes it really convenient. And so I just appreciate all our sponsors that lets us do this stuff.
You and me both. And I very much hope that we get a chance to see a lot of you guys racing in 2025. As you go into the off season, what's on the agenda?
We just got to freshen everything up, and then try to test this funny car a little bit, see if we can make it run. And that's about all we got going. I need to thank my guys that goes with me and helps me. Travis Cannon, Keith Youngblood, Jacob Halstead, Brett York. You don't do this stuff by yourself. It takes a good crew to go with you and get things done. And they've kept it going for me. And then Tom Conway, he keeps us lined out. If we get lost somewhere, we call him and he can help us.
The learning curve on a Nitro car, how are you finding that to be?
Tom just kind of told us what to do, and we haven't changed much. I mean, this car, you don't really tune on it much, but just change the timing a little bit, and that's about all we do to it. Put clutches in it.
That's great. When you've got a combination that's as consistent as the one you have, it's pretty easy to just say, okay, let's keep going with it. Now, one of the things that I saw that was very interesting, you guys were lined up in the first round with the Nitro Monkey, and they did a long burnout and didn't think they had a chance against you. So you kind of dodged a bullet there in the first round up there at Havana, I guess.
I did. They shut us off because they didn't know for sure if they was going to get him back or not or what, and then they was getting him off the track. And they fired it up and had a fuel leak right up there at the barrel valves. And they were going to shut us off, and let us go ahead and take the tree and everything. And I wasn't going down the track or nothing. So we dodged the bullet there.
Well, but then you made up for it with those great runs. That 4:02 in the semifinal, and then a 4:22 in the final. So you certainly had the performance, but sometimes it's the craziest things that can get you. But you guys certainly did not back into the winner's circle. Congratulations!
Thank you.
We hope to see you again on another episode of CHAOS Live, and best of luck to the Scrap Bucket team, to your family, to your business, to all those folks that make it work for you. Appreciate you being on tonight.
Thank you.
All right, you've got a chance to hear from the man himself, Wade Pennington, who exploded onto the scene in Nitro Chaos at Texas Motorplex last April, and you heard him announce that he's got a funny car, and so we might get a chance to see him doing all kinds of things in 2025. And I think that gives him something in common with an awful lot of the racers that we have in Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos. So fans, 2025, we'll be talking about that season coming up here in just a little bit. After we come back from the break, though, we're going to get a chance to hear from the winner of the McKinney Motorsports A Field from the championship finals at Midstate Dragway. That's going to be John Umlauf. So hang in there. We'll be right back with a word from our A Field winner. We are back with this next segment of our CHAOS Live show, and we've got the group from Rolla, Missouri. Hey guys, you want to unmute your speaker there, and we will get started talking with you. Congratulations on an outstanding season, actually, as you guys not only did great in this championship finals event, but man, your whole season was pretty good. Welcome, John.
How you doing, David? It's good to see you again.
It's good to be seen. I'm here to tell you. So you guys are coming off a big win in the McKinney Motorsports A Field up there. I got to tell you, first time I remember you guys is the Wicked Wedge, and I was one more impressed announcer when I got to see that car. I was going, "What? Wicked Wedge?" You always see the Hemis in those cars a lot of times, but been hanging around and seeing you guys run for a good while. But your progression is obviously going extremely well. Tell us about how it felt getting to the winner's circle. You've been to the finals for the second time, but you got that win. Tell us about it.
Well, just a chance of a lifetime to get to do it with my family. Brian does a good job tuning. Dustin does a good job with the clutch, and just a good thing. It's all about the family with us.
Well, I can see that as that big delegation that you've brought with you there, celebrating at Winter's Lane. They call it at Midstate, and man, you guys were strong as could be. Now you've got you're no stranger to the winner's circle, as you've got your successes at the World Fuel Altered Nationals, your success in the Pro Mod versus Fuel Altered Showdown, and I don't know what all else you guys have done, but man, you and Brian and the family have done well for a lot of years. And man, we're just excited to have you racing in the world of Nitro Chaos. Was it a pretty easy decision to come race with us?
Oh yeah. Anytime we can burn nitro, we're going to be there.
You agree with that, Brian?
I do. I really enjoy it.
Well,
Burning
that's
nitro
good.
Parts, that's what we seem to be good at.
Yeah, it is. It can be one of those expensive endeavors, but boy, your fan base of the Mass Chaos group is growing by leaps and bounds. I suspect that at the races this year, you've probably given away a lot of hero cards, signed a lot of autographs, and had people saying, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" That's bound to be exciting to feel the enthusiasm of those fans at these grassroots tracks.
Oh yeah, and we love it when the kids come by and put them in the car and they really like it, and just give them pistons and rods and just get rid of some of that junk.
Well, don't put it that way, man. It's that's some great stuff.
Yeah, it is. I got shelves full of it.
Yeah, no doubt. So 38 racers wound up running in Nitro Chaos competition in 2024, and you guys come in and you've got second place in the points, and you guys were in it. You did all you could do, just about all you could do at the championship finals. And was that your mindset? I think that early on you guys had announced that you intended to pursue the championship. Was this the game plan all along, or did it kind of get stronger as the year rolled on?
Well, it was a game plan when we got into it, but then I really didn't expect to do as good as we did with the new combination that we had, but with some help from Scott Shear and Brian done a great job this year. Alex Conway, we've had some help from Trick Tools, from Bruce Van Zant, and just I was actually farther up in the standings better than I thought we would be, and then me and Brian talked about it before we went to Havana, and I said, we got to win this deal to jump up. We passed Jody and Mitch, and that was we focused on that for the finals. Yes.
Well, you guys, you find out that the racers know every scenario. It's like, how far can we get if this happens and this happens? And of course, the championship got sewn up in the first round there. But you guys made a heck of a run. Did you start racing before kids came along?
Oh no, I never started. We used to I used to build street rods, and we always done the street rod, the car show stuff. And then we started going to Indianapolis when Good Guys had that big show up there in the nostalgia races. And then got tired of the show deal, and we'd watch drag racing. So Brian and I, he really wanted to go racing more than the car show deal. And then I said, okay, we can do that. And I traded a 32 Ford for my first front engine dragster. And my wife was not happy at all. It was pretty cold around the house for a while when I brought it home. And after I done it, she looked at me and said, you actually traded the car that she liked the most, my 32 Roadster. And but she wouldn't give up racing now for nothing. She's as hooked as the rest of us.
Well, that's I'm really glad that she came around, because like they say, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
She was not happy then.
I'm glad she's happy now.
Yeah, well like a maker.
Yeah. So Brian, I guess we all need to give you a word of thanks for getting old Dad into drag racing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to always bracket race. That's what I wanted to do. Just never could afford it. So I basically worked out a deal with another person and traded and got a super comp car, and that's where I started.
All right, so going into super comp racing, and now the family, you guys are Nitro racing. If is this the third altered that you've had?
Started with the front engine dragster, a Bob Bolton car. And then I went to the Fiat, the Wicked Wedge.
Yeah.
And then I had the
crop duster. You bought the crop duster
car, and then this one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I was thinking I've been around for all of the altereds.
Yes, you've been around for all the altereds. Yeah.
Man, you guys are showmen. You guys bring a clean operation and a fast car, and it is great to have all of you being a part of Nitro Chaos. Now, when you're not at the racetrack, and of course, I don't know, you may have another race or two between now and next season, but when you're not at the racetrack, what occupies your energy?
Well, I still build hot rods for people, and when I ain't doing that, I'm usually cutting grass or deer hunting.
Okay. All right. So you still do, you're still involved in fabricating cool street cars.
Yeah, street rods and just hot rod stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Brian, what about you?
I actually manage a diesel repair shop and service shop.
Okay.
So
all right. So was bracket racing, getting the super comp car, was that your first exploit in racing?
Actually, no. My first pass in a car was in the front engine car.
Was that an alcohol car? Or were y'all running nitro then too?
At that point, it was on 30% nitro.
Okay.
That was my first sitting behind a seat.
Well, there's nothing like jumping right into the fire, is there?
That's right.
So the banquet is coming up. We have got the CATS training that's going to be a part of that event. And then we'll kick things off once again at Ennis coming up in April of 2025. Are you guys planning on making another run at this Nitro Chaos Championship?
Yes, sir, we are.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the schedule that, as you've been seeing, that the schedule has been coming out, and it looks like it's going to be 5 races in 2025. So we'll start at the Motorplex, and hopefully the Mother Nature will let us run that chaos in the cornfield up at Eddyville. You guys have had success at Eddyville, quite a bit through the years, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that WFAN, the World Fuel Altered Nationals? Is that one of them that's perpetually on your schedule?
Oh yeah. That's and we live 4 hours from Eddyville, but we still like to call that our home track because Gerald and them take really good care of us.
That's true. And that's one of the favorite places for a lot of people to go, and we're looking forward to that double event. Going to kick things off in Nitro Chaos with 2 doubles, the Ennis event and Chaos in the Cornfield at Eddyville. And so, man, we can hardly wait to see that happen. How many races, with 5 Nitro Chaos races on the schedule, you guys try to add a few more to it than that? Or are you specifically focused on Nitro Chaos?
We'll do Nitro Chaos, the World Fuel Altered Nationals, and hopefully get a couple match races.
Okay. For somebody that wants to do, we were talking with Wade there, and I guess you heard that interview. There's a lot of people that have raced and maybe never imagined that they could get into Nitro Chaos or into Nitro racing. But Nitro Chaos seems to provide a venue for that. If there's someone out there watching that maybe would like to find themselves one of these days in the chase for the championship with you or maybe against you, what would you recommend to them?
Get about 3 jobs.
Find a source for some cubic dollars to go with all those cubic inches, right?
It takes a lot of money to run one.
Yeah.
And just find you some good workers. And when we first, Shane Ferris, he really helped us when we had the other car. I mean, you gotta find some experienced help that is willing to help you, because we tried it with the wedge at first, thinking that we could figure it out. Oh no, we heard a lot of stuff. So you just gotta find some guys that's been doing it a while that is willing to help you. And with this bigger pump deal, we got some advice from Pete Dove's crew chief, which was Scott Shear. He helped us out with you got to have help with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you guys run a big inch combination? If I remember right, you guys are up close to 500 cubic inches.
Yes, it's a big show. I get all my parts through Alex Conway at Indianapolis, and it's all ex-big show stuff.
Okay. And so the showmanship of the header flames is one of the things that sends the fans away, and even people like me and you that have been doing it for a long time. Those header flames are still such a rush, and there's no sound like what you guys make with a nitro burning engine going down the racetrack at high speed. Was that, since you started basically in nitro, it must have been something that drew you to that, to make you say, I'm going to do that instead of running on gasoline or methanol. How'd you come to that conclusion?
It started with the Good Guys Indy races at the car show we deal, and watching them top fuel cars run, and Radar Lechtenberg, I watched him up at Indy race a lot of times, and it's just like, man, that's cool stuff. The header flames, the noise, the smell, the whole thing it's addictive.
That's the word I was going to right there, addictive.
And then there's been times when I'm driving my car down, the header flames are up, and I'll start looking at the flames instead of driving, and they're just cool.
They are, and you get that headlight effect down there, and when you get your foot out of the throttle and the lights go out, what's that like for a driver?
It's really fun to step on the pedal, and it's really nice when you feel the chutes hit and you know the brakes are working.
Yeah, you really want to feel that,
that little
yourself
tug
going against the belts.
Yeah, you want to feel it.
Yep. Well, you guys, your family is doing it right, and we are so excited that you're part of this particular organization, Nitro Chaos. Congratulations! You've been to 2 final rounds. You're now batting 500, which is a pretty darn good record in terms of final rounds in Nitro Chaos competition. You're the 19th winner in a young series, and we wish you guys the very, very best. Have I left anything out, or is there anything else you need to express?
Well, at Havana, Pete Dove showed us one of them 340 trophies. One of them would look good in my house.
So there is something left to aspire to, the 340 club and the season championship, right?
Yeah. All it takes is money and hard work.
Well, I hope you find plenty of both. I know that there's no shortage of effort that comes from your family to be able to do it at the level that you do. And if there's some cubic dollars out there that go with it to help you get it, man, I hope you get it. And we look forward to watching you guys make it happen. I don't know if you can see the comments coming across there, but man, all the accolades coming to the Mass Chaos team from lots of folks. So Appreciate you being on tonight. Thank you for your racing endeavors and for your support of Nitro Chaos. Looking forward to seeing you just the next time we get a chance. I guess that'll be at the banquet.
Yep, we'll see you at the banquet. And again, thanks to McKinney and the Twisted Shifters and all the I can't think of them all, but thanks to all the sponsors that help us get this going. Keep it going.
We appreciate y'all taking time out tonight, and we will look forward to that next time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. The Mass Chaos Racing team, John and Brian Umlauf, have coming off that championship finals victory in the McKinney Motorsports A Field and finishing second in the championship hunt for 2024. I love seeing all the families involved in this deal. And they have very definitely got some good things going up there in the just south of the very center of the Show Me State. A lot of great racers from up there, and we are excited to have them be a part of it. Okay, we'll wrap it up with our final segment on this edition of Chaos Live, coming up right after this word from some of those great sponsors John was talking about.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in Nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.
Well, Lee, we've had some good conversations with a couple of great racers and racing families. It is really fun, whether they've been at it a long time or whether they have been at it a short time. We have all of the above that race in the Nitro Chaos Championship Tour, and we're having folks that are building race cars. I know you see a lot of that at McKinney with people going racing in every different category and coming up there to McKinney Motorsports for new cars to freshen up their old cars. And, it just seems like we're in a good place in drag racing in general and chaos in particular.
Chaos in particular, I think right outside the camper door, because I'm parked at McKinney Corp, there are 5 chaos potential cars in that shop right now. From Chuck Lofton, his new hot rod, the body is being mounted right now, and you have the Bartones with the nostalgia funny car side, not the top alcohol funny car side. That they have a chassis on the jig. Bucky Austin has a chassis on the jig, and many others there in the shop as well. So it is full blast for sure with several chaos potential folks. And speaking of chaos, it's funny. John doesn't talk much, and usually when I go around and they're doing well and I need to get him for an interview, he tends to hide, like literally hide. He doesn't want to get on camera. I have to corner him, camera on, and John Umlauf. Well, he certainly did want to talk, actually, and was very excited that win. Enjoyable moment there at the top end, and so glad for that team to finally turn on the win light in chaos and things come together. And you look at the point standing. I didn't realize that they could come away with a second place finish, but they had a tremendous year wrapping up with that win there at Midstate, finishing second. Wade comes away with a Workman Styles top 5 place finish, first ever D Field winner for Nitro Chaos ever, and actually the only D Field we've had. Or C Field, excuse me. And it's what a phenomenal year for Wade, for John, and honestly, all these competitors. They just want to go somewhere and burn some nitro and run, and you get to do that in Nitro Chaos.
Yeah, you do, and you can bring the combination that fits your budget, fits your desires. Not everybody wants to run a funny car. Okay. Run a dragster, run a pro mod, run a street legal nostalgic car. It's all there. It was such a kick for me to look on the ladder and see Brian Coleman advance into the semifinal. Not everybody has done that. The two guests that we had on the show tonight, between the two of them, they had 4 final rounds in 2024, as Wade was 2-0 and in his final round appearances, bookending the beginning and the end of the season. And then John, he went out in the first round at Edgewater. He went to the second round at the Motorplex, had a runner-up at Mocan, and won the whole thing at Havana. So, he's run the gamut, but only one of those times did he go out in the first round. So that added up to the points. And you heard him say that they were looking at the points, and it's like, it's going to be a tall order to pass Mitch King and Jody Austin, which is always the case. If you're going to pass either one of those guys, you better bring your A game. Well, they brought it, and they definitely got it done. So they're going to be finishing second spot. And Jody and Mitch wind up tying for third place. Wade comes in fifth. Gary Wheeler, with his final round appearance in the Grand Prix Autosports Dragster, finishes in the sixth spot. And then you got a tie for seventh, Mark Hunter and Dave Hill. What about the Mad Max crew? You talk about a group that has gained a lot of exposure, a lot of notoriety, a lot of fan base, and a lot of attention. And they have put up the big numbers, top speed at the event up there at Havana with the Mad Max funny car, and getting that big Friday night RBS Superchargers top performer. That was great to have them experience that. Joey Haas taking home one of those bonuses from superfan Michael Spitzer as the number one qualifier, and then the Tommy Coker bonus as the best performer in Q3. So, putting those extra bucks in, thanks to some great folks that support what's happening. Tim Cullinan, the Irish Car Bomb, getting that superfan bonus from Michael Spitzer for being number one in the B Field. Nitro Club with the Lucky 13 bonus going to Jeff Krug. Jeff was talking on one of his posts about getting some help from Radar Lechtenberg. Well, you just heard John Umlauf talk about Radar Lechtenberg being a very good resource to him. And of course, we've had Radar at numerous of our Nitro Chaos events. But, that word of people helping people to chase their dream and reach their dreams, that's alive and well. And certainly have a lot of folks to be thankful to. Jeff Krug having his Nitro Chevy, getting that baby sorted out. It's good to see them making some progress. And it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and it would be like, oh, you just get in and drive it. No, there's a lot more to it than that, and the challenges exist, but they continue working at it. So anyway, we've had so many great things happening this year. Anthony Whitfield, number 9 in points, and Kevin Kinsley rounds out the top 10. But it's going to be fun when we get to the banquet and get a chance to celebrate these top 10 in Nitro Chaos and in Funny Car Chaos League.
It certainly will be. And I'm excited for Joey Haas and the Haas family, the Nimrod team, on their championship. Joey has remarked several times that they have never really run for a championship outright, and they put it all together this year, and they're able to solidify it in round one. Even though it was a loss, they have had some stellar performances all year long, and they've won races, and they did it in times where we didn't think they were going to be the top car, but they were the top car. And then other times they were able to collect enough to be able to earn a championship, even though we had it to them to go win it all. And well, they were able to do just that in a championship tour, pointing over the competition by a good margin and winning Joey's first championship trophy. And it's hard to, I'm surprised that we are saying that, because Joey's got it done in Chaos before. Joey's got it done in nostalgia racing in many different ways. He's even gone to a final round in NHRA Top Fuel and yet he doesn't have a championship to his credit until now. That's pretty cool.
It is very cool, and one of the things that I go back to is when we were getting this CHAOS deal off the ground. The first race there, that one race in 2017. Well, 2018, we had 4 races, and one of them was at the place that we just raced at, Havana, Illinois. And one of the driving forces for rounding up cars from the Midwest and upper Midwest to be at that race was Joey Haas. And, he's put a lot of work into it. He had that old big block Chevy powered Mach 1, and he was runner-up at that race. And so to see him close the deal at Havana, I think that, I'm sure that was extremely special for him, but it certainly adds a little extra to the story because of how hard he worked to help Chris get things going with Funny Car CHAOS in year 2 of the deal, which was actually the first full year of the thing with the race at Havana. And what a great job he did. What a great job all the racers that showed up at that event. It really made it a place where people got a chance to experience what we do with CHAOS. And it obviously was well received because we've seen most of those racers multiple times, like half a dozen times or so. Some a lot more, and some a little bit less. But that initial group from Havana, those folks have been racing with us ever since then. And so for Joey to close the deal at Havana, that's a little extra special for those of us in CHAOS, and especially for the Nimrod crew. And I know what Joey's saying. He's like, yeah, it's not me. It's all these guys around me. And believe me, we know that his crew, all of that bunch, whether Joey's in the seat, whether Joe's in the seat, that crew that makes that car go so amazingly fast, 300 miles an hour a few weeks before, that team, hats off to you guys, because they have really got the performance right on that. They are able to have those winner's circle, winner's lane celebrations, and it's getting to be a habit. And I know that they love that, and they've got a lot of great support from the fans in CHAOS Nation and all the folks that follow them up there in the Midwest and upper Midwest at some of those great shows at the famous tracks up in that part of the country. So congratulations to our champion, second ever champion. The first time it was Gary Wheeler, and second time it was Joey Haas. And man, let the hits just keep on coming.
I feel that 2023 was, if I may juxtapose with Star Wars, a new hope for B Field competitors. But 2024 has been the A Field strikes back. We got A Field winners in Funny Car CHAOS with Shane Lawson, and an A Field competitor with Joey Haas. So what might we see in 2025? Someone out of the D Field? I don't know. Who knows? Jump up and get a championship, and which is certainly a possibility for those that compete in CHAOS. We see that, in Funny Car CHAOS. Jade Cook finished exceptionally well this year, and she was in D Fields at times. So it is certainly a possibility, and that is something that is unique and also a challenge, and also, I think, inviting to competitors to come to CHAOS and participate in it, because you don't have to run 355s in the 8th mile to have a shot at a championship. You certainly can if you got a Mike Kern and tuning a hot rod like Joey and Joe and Haas team does, but you can have a scrap bucket and still go out there and have a consistent nitro burner and have a shot at the championship as well. So 2025 is shaping up, again, I think, to just ramp up the chaotic nature of the CHAOS in all of its excitement within racing. Now, David, I went and pulled all the graphics for the schedule next year, so I got them up. So I'm gonna go. Let's go through them really quickly.
Okay.
The first race of the year.
Yeah, we're going to be at the Texas Motorplex, and this race, ever since the first one, has just created more buzz, more hoopla, more excitement, and more down and dirty racing that is just, I don't know how to describe it. It is such a great event, and to do the double to kick off the season with Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos at the same event, it's great. One of the things about it gives the Nitro Chaos racers, the Nitro racers, they can go one of two ways. They can go Funny Car or they can go with Nitro Chaos. And, we are seeing some folks that are saying, that Nitro Chaos side of the fence, I'm kind of liking that. It's like it's great on both sides, but that event, I think fourth time that we've been to the Motorplex for the Funny Car Classic with Nitro Chaos as part of it. Man, that is a must attend event there to kick things off April 3rd through the 5th.
And on that graphic, we've got Kevin Kinsley in the War Wagon. I just got to say, hey, Ferris Gang with Kinsley, I want to see y'all do the full pull, okay? Find some marketing partners. Let's get it done. I want War Wagon, whether it's that one or the new hot rod, let's all year in Nitro Chaos. Come on, let's get it together. Let's get it together. I want to see y'all show up for race number 2 at a place we all love, Eddyville Raceway Park.
Man, Chaos in the Cornfield. This race set a standard. We've seen some incredible things happen in the world of drag racing and in the world of Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos, but that first time for the double up, it's the only time we got to do it, the Nitro Chaos, Funny Car Chaos, Chaos in the Cornfield at Eddyville Raceway Park. First of all, it is absolutely a wonderful venue to go to a drag race. And, they've got the experience in putting on big events. And when you fill up that place with the great fans that are up there, and they come in from all over the place, that's one of those places that we have people come in from Europe and Australia, and it's like they come to Eddyville for this particular event. Well, wherever you are stateside, or really wherever you are, period, this is one of those things that you really ought to check off your bucket list, because the environment there at Eddyville Raceway Park is just perfect for a drag race. And, we didn't get a chance to do it this year, and boy, did we miss it. So we will be anticipating that Memorial Day weekend at Eddyville Raceway Park with, a house full of hot rods, and the show will be on, and I can't wait to get back there.
For sure. And with Nitro Chaos in particular, the inaugural home where it all started for Nitro Chaos there, a few years back, and Scott Palmer winning that race and setting records at Eddyville Raceway Park. A place that is certainly becoming home for Nitro Chaos is Edgewater Sports Park outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. That will be the next one. And this is, I think, already another favorite for the racers of Nitro Chaos to roll into, to roll down the strip burning nitro.
This is such a cool track. 2024 was my first time to be at Edgewater. In 2023 we had to split the crew and have 2 races on the same weekend, so I didn't get a chance to be there the previous year. But my word, what a great track! There's so many things about it. It's got that park-like environment, kind of like you experience at Eddyville. It's different from that, but it's got a certain feel to it that it's like a park with those big trees out there that the cars are pitted underneath. And it's an event. It's an event that has just grown in stature. Each of the 2 years that we've been there, performance, no question that they can get cars down the racetrack there. The closeness of the competition has been exceptional. And, there's just a lot more room for people to come in, whether we're talking about more cars, whether we're talking about more fans, or what I like to think about, more of both. We got room for it at Edgewater Sports Park, and that place is a great venue to continue a third year running in Nitro Chaos.
Well, speaking of continuing the nitro burning at Smokin' Mocan Dragway. And David, the word special isn't special enough for how special this place is really in Chaos. You just got to experience it.
It is. Every year when we go in there and we've talked about it, and we've let everybody know how great the fans are there and how great the family is and the crew that runs that place. And they raise the bar each and every time. And the racers talk about it, the fans talk about it, we talk about it. If you haven't been to Mocan and experienced one, man, just go ahead and make the commitment to get there. We've got so many great memories that have taken place there, and we're just going to continue to make those memories and let that place shine on as more and more people experience the absolute magic that takes place at Mocan Dragway.
And announced not that long ago, we're going to go back to Midstate for the Nitro Chaos Championship Finals. I think this is a spectacular move, great announcement for series and track that we're going to return to a rising, historic facility within the world of drag racing.
You know, Lee, I was watching the work that you did and the video edits that you put together from the race there at Havana at Midstate Dragway. And there is such a feel there in the middle of that cornfield with that hill across from the tower, that 3-story tower where you're way up high. Talk about a great view of a race. That is a terrific place to watch a race from and announce a drag race from. But with the added grandstands, that Hillside Hot Rod Club over there has now got a lot more places for people to sit and watch a drag race. It's got a lot of new things that have been added to it as they have really upped the ante in terms of this being a place that racing series want to come to, and could not be more excited to have Nitro Chaos second year in a row championship finals up there at Havana as we return to one of the places that helped make Chaos. And so that championship finals event there coming up in 2025. This race simply outstanding that just took place there. And again, looking forward to another big time.
Now, David, this weekend was supposed to be the California Chaos, Nitro Chaos there at Bakersfield. And, well, that was canceled due to some lack of support. But what I just counted was 5 events. We had scheduled 6 events in 2024. Now, I haven't talked to Chris, but I can't help but wonder, if you look at the gap from Mocan to Midstate, it's a bit further than it was for 2024. I just wonder if another one might get snuck on in there for Nitro Chaos.
Well, I don't know anything for sure. All I know is that Chris Graves' phone blows up all the time with people from racetracks calling and saying, how about this? How about that? How about this? How about that? And so could there be another event on the schedule? I don't know, and I truly do not know. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. But one of the things about it is this group of people in Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos love to race, and they bring a good show wherever they happen to go. So if another race happens to materialize on the schedule, I can't say I would be surprised. One of the things about it is that the mix that we have right now working pretty well. So, but you know, then there's another chance to burn nitro, and there's another chance to have a chaos event and bring this this special brand of magic that we do to another track. You know, I can't say that we would not want to do that. It just kind of depends on if another track operator, owner operator wants to reach out and say, hey, let's put something together. I'm sure Mr. Graves is probably open to whatever. if it makes sense for the tracks, if it makes sense for CHAOS, then it makes sense for the racers. Then if it's a good deal all around on all 3 points, then yeah, we could see something. But that is a big gap in the schedule there for a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that. Holding out on us, Chris. I mean, I don't know. I have no clue. There's something there. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I have no insights. I have not talked to Chris. So, but very true that if the deal is right, CHAOS will roll through the gate, and we'll burn some nitro, or we'll put down some flop tops and send them for sure.
There will definitely be some conversation taking place as we go into the CHAOS off season. There's still racing going on other places, and some of our CHAOS racers are racing in other places. You probably saw, like I did, that our 2022 champion Kirk Williams went over to Flying H and did very well. Winds up in the final round, which they did not get a chance to run. But that team out of Iowa that represented so well in Funny Car CHAOS went over to the Midwest event there at Flying H and represented extremely well. So we had that going on. There's other events taking place as we wind down the 2024 racing season. You know, Lee, we're going to have another CHAOS coming up. I don't know, a month or so. I'm not sure what our schedule exactly is going to be. Probably something like once a month between now and Ennis. But there'll be a lot of conversation. You know how it is, the silly season, they call it, whenever all kinds of things are happening. And, of course, you get a chance to a front row seat to see some of the things that are going on with cars being built, cars being updated. And the pages of Facebook are filled with folks that are saying, check this out. You know, sometimes you get those spy shots like you used to get at Agent 1320. And so the number of people that are looking at CHAOS and looking at the opportunity to come out and do something that they maybe never thought they would get a chance to do. It's just like that race at Ennis. I never thought that I would see 64 funny cars ever happen, but there it was. And, you know, between the Nitro CHAOS and Funny Car CHAOS show coming your way at Ennis in April and at Eddyville in May, those big shows, they're back. And I'd have to say they're at least as good as they ever were. I wasn't there for any of those 64 funny car, except reading about it in the magazines, and they were crazy. But our races are pretty crazy good. No doubt about it.
I agree. Has been some very good CHAOS racing, and you see with Joey putting it all together, going out and winning a championship on consistency, and then you look at Funny Car CHAOS and we have a champion by a point. I expressed to some in the industry that going into MoCan on Labor Day weekend for the finals that, hey, we've got like 7 competitors with a mathematical shot at this thing. And they were like, what? Just almost like unheard of that was the possibility. The scenarios were just, and I don't know about you, but I like that. I'm glad we have that. And frankly, it's not, look, nothing against the countdown. If people want to do a playoff style system, great. It is an elimination style sport. But I like how, if you will, naturally we go into MoCan with Funny Car CHAOS and we had that shot. 7 competitors with that possibility to come away with a championship. That's pretty cool.
It's extremely cool. And they weren't all A field cars. They weren't all B field cars. They were, it runs the gamut. You're talking about the championship in Nitro CHAOS. One of the things that Joey Haas was able to do, and this is part of the formula of CHAOS that, those that are astute have picked up on, is you run all the qualifying runs, and if you wind up qualifying number 1 in your field, at 8 points, that's a big deal. If you wind up qualifying number 1 at a CHAOS event, you've got 33 points. That's more than half of what you can get if you win the event and run the table. So qualifying is huge. And, it's been one of those things. If you're running B field, C field, or occasionally D field, and you're able to maximize your qualifying by, kind of combination of skill and a little bit of luck, find yourself in the number 1 or number 2 spot, D field, C field, B field. Those points add up just like whether you were at the top of the A field.
I agree, and I can think back over the season, in particular with Nitro Chaos, not so much Funny Car Chaos, but in particular with Nitro Chaos, and I imagine there are some competitors wishing that they might have just gotten their stuff buttoned up and just took the treat even. Just get the points and possibly have made it a tighter scenario going into Midstate Dragway for the championship finals. But to Joe Haas, the Haas family, their team, Mike Kern, congratulations on your championship. And certainly we've got a great group to represent CHAOS, whether that's the Haas family or the Lawson group, going into 2025. And CHAOS Nation continues to grow, get louder, and just get better.
Yeah, to Dean Dubbin at DMP Awning and Murph McKinney, Justin Arias at CP Carillo, Darren Foster at Twisted Shifters, Pete Dove at Dove Fuels, and of course you can't forget those wonderful people at Larice Motorsports Insurance and Driven Racing Oils and R&M Race Trailers. And we've got so many good friends that have made this possible this season. We'll talk about them even more as at our next CHAOS Live. But the fans and the racers of CHAOS support these organizations that support the series. It makes a big difference. Ed Wolf, I appreciate Ed Wolf being on the mic at Midstate, and I appreciate him doing that. And his support of CHAOS has been unwavering. And he said it at the banquet. He said, the support that he gets as a result of his support of CHAOS helps him to keep his business going. It's a big deal. And so don't forget these folks that help bring you CHAOS as they really do a good thing to keep this brand of racing going. And we look forward to continuing that relationship long into the future.
Yes, sir. Well, David, anything else for this edition of CHAOS Live?
Man, it's been a while since we talked, and so we've got a chance to do a little extra bench racing here after the interviews were done. But it's so exciting to have people from all around the country and all around the world. Actually, we have people that are tuning into this show and tuning into our races. We're really looking forward to hopefully being able to live stream the entire 2025 season. That's not a done deal yet. So again, if you know somebody that is looking for some extremely good exposure for the 2025 season, it can't hurt to drop us a line, drop us a note, and let's see if we can make that happen. Because there is nothing like reaching out to the CHAOS Nation with the live coverage of each and every event so that you don't miss any of it. And Lee, thank you for all that you do in that regard. It's your work is unparalleled, and it makes a big difference to me and to Chris and to everybody in CHAOS Nation. So thank you so much for doing all that great work.
Well, it's a spectacular series to be a part of, and it is that much easier to do and to work on when you've got great storylines and great people in such a great series, such as yourself, Chris, and many others. And, thanks to Randy for stepping up, Randy Young, when we have streamed, Warren Evans, when we have been able to stream, thank you to those streaming partners and everyone participating, putting on a good show, and cannot wait for what we have in store for 2025. And I'll keep everybody up to date. If I see any good spy stuff here at McKinney Corp, I'll let folks know.
Sounds good. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in for this installment of CHAOS Live. We just really do mean it when we tell you how much you mean to us, and we thank you for racing with us, for watching, for supporting our sponsors, And we thank you for that extra little bit of magic that you help add to the CHAOS recipe. So we will see you soon on another CHAOS Live. We'll be announcing whenever that's coming up. We're anticipating probably once a month between now and Christmas. So from all of us here at CHAOS, we want to wish you a great week. Be kind, be well, be awesome. We'll see you soon. Good night.
Taylor Motorsports Products is your first stop for quality safety equipment for your car or your driver. All of our safety equipment products are made in our facility in Albany, Oregon. From custom fit fire suits to racing seat belts, supercharger restraints, engine diapers, transmission blankets, and many other must-have items. Our racing history runs deep. We are racers building the finest safety equipment for racers. And we're a proud supporter of the CHAOS.
In your motorsports endeavors with products and services from Dove Fuels. Pete Dove is the owner of Dove Fuels. He is a racer himself in a nitro methane burning fuel altered, dubbed Back from the Ashes. He races with Driven Racing Oils, which produces a 70 weight nitro oil, but that is not all they make. They make applications for you on the oval track, whether that's dirt or asphalt, and for even you, the bracket racer, on the drag strip. And if you need nitromethane, Pete Dove at Dove Fuels is the one to call for a drum or even supplying for an entire series, as he is the official supplier of nitro for Nitro CHAOS. If it's nitromethane or Driven Racing Oils, you need to contact Dove Fuels. Gentle name, hardcore products.